Hello, my name's Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So today I'm going to talk about Irish glass, and specifically early Irish glass, and the transition that Irish glass took from being foot treadle powered cutting to steam powered cutting. Now my books tell me that steam powered cutting started being introduced in the glass houses in 1801 and that they'd all gone over by 1809. So we've got a really tight period. Now, I have quite a bit of early Irish glass, and some of it's got cutting on it, so I'm going to use that. And then I have some later glass. Now, the thing is, there is a transitional period where I think they did more cutting, and I don't want to use any of that because there's this question about, is it steam, is it treadle powered? And I want to show you this is definitely, foot powered cutting, and this is definitely steam powered, and the contrast is really stark. Now the transitional period, so the thing you have to remember is that you have a craftsman, he's probably worked like 20 years cutting glass with his foot, blah 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 blah. He knows if he leans too hard, it can all go horribly wrong. He can break the glass, his wheel will slow down and stick, and it's just hard for him to do. Now, when you give him steam power, he can do what he likes then. He can lean on it, because instead of his foot powering it, he's got the equivalent of like 4 horses or something powering that wheel, and it's not, he can lean on it as hard as he likes, and it's not going to slow down. So, or not in any noticeable way. But it takes a while probably before styles and designs change, because you've got some bod somewhere saying we want it cut like this and we want it cut like that. Fashion to change so that the people that are buying the glass, they might not necessarily be receptive to a massive change in the way the glass looks. There's got some people want the old way, some people want the new way, but it won't just change overnight. And so you might be doing it steam cutting with steam powered, but you might be doing it in the old way for people that are a bit more conservative. And it's not just going to change overnight. So I would suspect that between 1809 and probably 1820, things changed. And I will show you the stuff that I believe is pre-steam powered completely, and post, they now know what they're doing, and they're in there to win it and doing a lot of cutting on their glass. And you can see that difference. The old styles and motifs are almost out the window. It is a complete departure. So let's get on, and I'll show you some early cut glass first. I'll show you, there's something I'll show you that I'm a little bit, anyway, we'll get on and I'll talk through it as I go. So let's get on and have a look at some glass. These 4 decanters are all Irish dip moulded decanters. They're all very different from each other. I'm going to explain what I mean by dip moulded. Let me show you something first. I have this lovely little baby English decanter here. Now, when these were made, this English one was taxed by weight, okay, and these were not. So this made glass more of a precious material, which meant even if you didn't have steam powered cutting, you would make a better job of it. You would, because it's a bit like comparing something made out of silver to something made out of copper. These are like they're made out of copper. This is like it's made out of silver. It's the same material, just costs different amounts in the 2 different countries, okay? So let me show you what I mean by dip moulding now. This one, this is very fashionable cutting at the time. Lots of decanters had it. It's called comb cutting. Yeah, you have this little bit around the bottom. It's got completely cut out pontle. You can see the remains of the broken pontle in the middle. It's actually quite deep as well. And then it's got cut panels on the shoulders, And then it's got a radially cut stopper. Okie dokie. Okay. So panels, remember, radially cut stoppers. So this is cut. Yep. I think with that in mind, showing you that, I'm going to start at this end, and which is unnatural for me because I'm left-handed. But anyway, this is dip molded. So you have a mold with little ribs in it. You put your bubble of glass in and you blow it into, press it into the bottom of this mold. You can see it's got a clear patch. It's got broken pontle, this one, so they've not bothered to polish it out. And then got bubbles in it and everything. So this is imitating. Let me pull the other one back. Trying to do this without breaking anything. So the one on the left is imitating the one on the right. Yeah, it's trying to be fashionable. So less work, no work in doing that. You do it as you're blowing it, and it also helps you make all your decanters the right size. The other thing that's a cheap deal on this is that actually this is drop pressed into a mold, so that is not cut either. Yeah, because this is a cheap material. Why cut if you can avoid it? Just press the stopper into a mold and away you go. Hey presto, job's done. Now this is what I wanted to show you. The cutting on here is really shallow and to the surface. This is a very Irish motif with these diamonds with little grids in, blazes at 45 degrees. That's a very Irish thing to do. There's 3 lots of them on here, and actually this motif here, this is a very Irish thing to do as well. So yeah, it's full of Irish motifs as far as the actual cut part goes. Very, very good reference piece to things that they did on Irish glass at this time period. And as you can see, none of that is very deep at all. And there isn't any other cutting. That's it. The only thing that's been fitted is actually the stopper. You can see it's got lots of wear on it where it actually, if I get it to focus now, focus. You can see it's got wear where it sits inside the decanter, which is a good sign. So I'll move on to this one here then. Seeing as I'm going this way, might as well stick to going this way. So again, dip molded, a cheat, but this is the cutting. It's, again, you've got the husk motif, very typical. You can see it on the other one, and yeah. Now, before you go jumping around and finding other dip molded decanters, there's a lot of continental soda glass ones, and if you look at my video on continental soda glass decanters, you'll see the difference immediately. It'll be glaringly obvious, especially the underneath, because the soda glass ones have like a star in the bottom, in the middle, as part of the mould. They've got broken pontle in the middle of it, but it's like a star, and this has just got the ribs going around like this. So that is the difference. But yeah, the cutting is, again, nothing deep going on. Again, with this one here, you've got the dip moulding. This one they have actually polished out the pontle, which is unusual. Probably a little bit more effort in the cutting on this one, but still nothing too deep. And I did, if you look at the 20th century video, there was a Webb Corbett decanter, and I said it got 2 motifs that jammed together. They would make this one, so it had all these, you can see these ellipses, so it had like a row of ellipses up here, and then it had a row of this type of cutting further down. But yeah, and that's all of the cutting on it. Oh, actually, I forgot. The stopper is radially cut, not particularly actually the edges are not, it's difficult to, let me take it out and show you. So there's a bit of cheating in this, if I can get it to show. So they've polished the top, but if you look at the actual radial cuttings, some of them have got a flat top. Yeah, it's difficult to tell, but basically if I get the English stopper here, and you look at the top, if I can get it to do it, they all come to a sharp edge. So more effort has been made in making this radial cutting than in this radial cutting. This is quite soft, and I can't, you can hear the noise difference anyway. Yeah, so this is because they've not bothered to, they basically cut grooves in it as opposed to join all the cutting up. So anyway, that's that one, and then we'll show you the last one. So this one's got panel cut shoulders, which is quite a lot of work, but hardly any other cutting. Again, it's dip moulded. It has just have a polished pontil. This one is probably, looking at this motif here, made by the same person as that one, but I don't know who. And the other thing about this one is that because it's more work, and this is a cheap material, they haven't bothered to polish the bullseye stopper. Normally bullseye stoppers start like this, yeah, where it's just a moulded shape, and then they polish it to make it look good. Okay, hang on, let me see if I can grab one from behind me. Ooh, where? I need to move my chair a bit. Ooh, everything's going horribly wrong here. There we go. Bullseye stopper. So this is a polished one, and this is my unpolished one. So there you have it. Okay, we're going to move on and look at some more decanters now. So I'm showing you 3 Irish decanters here. These are all cut glass ones. I'm pretty certain they're pre or post 1820. Now, I do need to tell you something, a little bit more history in fact. In 1822, the glass tax was put back on in Ireland. So basically, English and Irish glass was being sold at parity. The only problem is for Ireland is that all the materials were being imported from England. Okay, so they had to do something to set themselves apart, and glass cutting was the thing they did. Now, I know these are Irish, and I should tell you why. These 3 came off eBay. These 2 came off eBay from Ireland when you could buy it easily before Brexit, and they were both very cheap. I think I paid something like 20 for that one and 15 for that one. I paid about 20 for that one. That came from England, but it does have this crest on it, and it's for the Prince of Wales Irish Fusiliers. I'll show you, I'll explain that later. But yeah, that little crest gives it all away. And this pattern is in the Waterford Penrose pattern book. So yeah, I'm happy that that is Irish too. I bought this one on the left in Ireland myself, and I think it was like £10. So yeah, I don't think anybody's out making copies of things for the kind of prices I've been paying. So we'll start at this side. Okay, it's a bit dusty, sorry about that. But look at this lovely diaper cut. And the diamonds with the little thing is back in this, but yeah, it's more, you know, done more complex. And this is what you can see, a bit of the broken pond mark at the bottom, but this is all steam. I mean, this is just massively cut. Everything's cut at very sharp angles. Yeah. Panels, step cutting. The stoppers got all these little focus. It's difficult to make this focus. There we go. Yeah, so that is matching the diaper pattern on the side of the decanter. It's not the best fitted stopper in the world, so it's not super tight. It's got these are all cut. So yeah, this is what steam cutting is all about. Let me move on to the next one. This one's not fantastically well fitted stopper either, but let me show you. You've got, this is cut and then polished into the round. You've got this really sharp hobnail cutting here, more hobnail cutting here. This is also really sharp. Yep, there's cutting between these two neck rings as well. And then you've got the stopper, which has got fine hobnails and then rounded bits, and that matches, can you see, the alternating pattern on the side of the decanter. So, but again, for some reason, not the best fitting, but it is with it seems. This one is a real chonker. Let me get it. Again, on here you've got a bit of pillar cutting here. You've got pillar cutting on this one too. So you've got flat panels cut, and then you've got 2 rows of pillar cutting alternating. One thing I've noticed about Irish glass, it's not always, but there's more vertical patterns, doing more vertical stuff. Yeah. Panels, step cutting, faceted neck rings, facets cut between the neck rings. Then you've got the rim of this is cut, the top is cut, the stopper has been cut into a clover. I got it wrong once. I told it, said it was a shamrock. So this is a lucky clover because it's got 4 leaves. Shamrocks only have 3 apparently, so yeah. But yeah, that is completely cut as well. There's almost no surface. Yeah. That came from Enniskillen. And look at the base cutting as well. Look at that. This is, you can see the difference between, hey, I have steam powered cutting. I can do what I like. I can cut as much as I like, spend as long. It doesn't take as long. And then I've got this one here. Oh, can I reach? Yes. So I'm going to explain the Irish connection here. You've got the Irish harp. You've got the Prince of Wales over the top of it. And then you have the symbol for the Fusiliers. And then you've got shamrock wreath around it. So yeah, it's very Irish pattern. So it did come from England, and then it's pillar cut, and the pillar cutting runs straight underneath as well. So this is all cutting to make these round shapes. Then you've got panels on the shoulder, panels between the rings. There's a big chunk out of it, which is why it was very cheap to me. And then you've got the matching stopper. The stopper is cut to match the bottom. You see how that is, and you see how that is. Yeah, it's all cut to match together. Yeah, I see, that's another thing I see more often with Irish decanters, is that on the English ones, quite often you get a generic stopper, a stopper that's like, yeah, all sorts of shapes and sizes of decanter will have this pattern stopper. The regularly cut mushroom that I showed you earlier, yeah, that is standard as standard can be. Loads of decanters have it. Bullseye, loads of decanters. later Irish ones have stoppers designed. I mean, this one doesn't necessarily go with this one, but this one does, and this one does, which is something that just stands out to me that I see more. I wouldn't say it's it's a hard and fast rule, but I see it more often with Irish decanters. It's just a thing that I noticed. So I'm going to show you some other bits of glass because I'm not just going to do decanters. So I better get these back on the shelf and we'll have a look at some other bits of glass. So I've got 5 bits of glass here. Yeah, some of them came from Ireland, some of them are in the books. So let me show you what I've got. So this, I've seen this in the books as circa 1800 and by Cork Glass Co. And yeah, so you got this actually does have comb cutting, but it's so shallow it's almost not there. You see how shallow that is? And then this cutting on here is, in fact, some of it I would count as engraving. That's it. This is cut, but it's virtually engraving. This is cutting, but it's very shallow. Yeah, this is a mixture of cutting and engraving, I think. It's very difficult. I mean, when it's... In fact, I think yeah, it's a mixture. So there you go. And Pontle is cut, it's polished out, but not very deeply because you can actually still feel the Pontle. It's just to stop it from scratching the table because it's got a flat base. Just check out the wear here. Then I've got this. I bought this off eBay from Belfast. It cost me $2.99. This is probably pre-1800. And the base is cut, but I don't know if this has been redone. If it has been, it was done a very long time ago because you can see every corner's got little tiny chips on it. This is press moulding here. The whole base is moulded, and then it's got this shallow cutting here, which we saw on one of the decanters, and then the husk pattern. Yeah, we've seen that on the decanters as well, and a few more shallow cuts here. So yeah, so this is pre-steam powered cutting. This one's on the cusp, so it does have a polished Pontle mark, but it's actually not, only just does the job. None of this is cut. This is an added annulated ring in the middle of the stem, and you've got panels cut, and you've got this fine cutting. So this could be early steam powered cutting, or it could be pre. So I said I wouldn't show you anything up, but these are so lovely. Yeah, I've got 6 of these. And yeah, the glasses like this, I mean there's glasses like this in a few of my references. Not with this ring on the stem, but yeah, this shape, these panels, this cutting here, yeah, definitely straight out of my book. And I've not seen them attributed to anywhere else. These 2 I bought on holiday in Ireland. And yeah, look at this. This is definitely steam powered. And again, you've got the sharp hot nails that break your nails on it. You've got blazes at an angle. I've shown you those. That's something that's kind of typically Irish. And the way this foot is cut, with the intense cutting around here. Sometimes they have the middle polished down, sometimes they don't. But yeah, that's very... And then this has got an added ring, but it's actually been facet cut on top of everything else. And I've got this. So this is a very typically Irish thing as well. Got your intensely cut foot, there's some cutting on the stem, and then you've got these hobnails that are really, again, really sharp hobnails, and you've got a divider here, and then you've got panel cutting running all the way around. That's almost unnecessary because one, you can hardly see it because it's right under the lip, and then you've got the rim. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing you date to sort of like 1820s. Same with that, 20s or 30s. This would be earlier, 1800, 1810. And these would be, you know, I think this was dated to 1800 in my books. I think this is earlier. I think this is pre-1800 just. But yeah. Just a different level of effort, and imagine doing that. That's going to be hard enough using steam-powered cutting, let alone while you're pushing something with your foot. Yeah. So showing you the transition in one go, and how Ireland went from somewhere where glass was cheap, you can just knock it out, or mouldy, etc. Hardly if it's got any cutting, because I have loads with no cutting at all. Even the stoppers are not fitted; they just plonk in. If you go back, so these are better quality things for their time period. And it's hard to find anything that's worse than this in England. That's the thing. And I mean, to me, this is fantastic. I love this kind of stuff, but yeah, it's not quality glass. It's not quality cutting. It's tentative. They're just doing what they need to do to give the look. And even then, you can see, just look at how refracted this cutting. I mean, you can barely see that there is any cutting from here. I mean, compared to these ones. Yeah, it's just a different scale of work, really. I mean, the bit that shows up the most on this is actually the foot, and that's because it's moulded underneath. It creates a little optical look to it, but that's just moulding, so it's a cheat. So there we have. That's all the Irish glass I'm going to show you now. So, I hope I was able to teach you a bit of Ireland's glass story. I'm really passionate about it. That's why I have all of this. This top row up here behind me is all Irish decanters, and quite a few of the ones on this side here are as well. Yeah, I always look out for them, and they're not very common. I think I've read somewhere that the UK was producing like 10 times as much glass as Ireland. It might even be more than that. And so, yeah, it's not common. Finding it is not easy. And especially from the UK. When I was on holiday in Ireland, I was able to buy quite a few bits and pieces. And honestly, quite often, I mean, maybe it was where I was buying it from, because I was in the middle of nowhere. It didn't cost a lot. I was surprised. And the stuff that I found on eBay that's come from before we did Brexit, from Southern Ireland as well, but from Northern Ireland, and I've paid very little for it, but it doesn't come up very often. The dip molded decanters, these are all dip molded up here. They're a different case, so finding those cheap is quite hard. You do see them because they're so obviously Irish, and usually they command a good price. So yeah, Irish glass, when it's recognised as such, the early stuff does get good prices, but it's frequently not. Even people in Ireland, you know, people selling me stuff on eBay, don't even know what they're selling. The little pot that I showed you that I bought for $2.99, it said it was 1950s. That's what I bought it as. So yeah, it happens. So I thought, give you a view into that. You'll all be my competitors looking for Irish glass now, but that's the name of the game. That's why I'm trying to teach people stuff. So yeah, I enjoy it. It's because it's so well documented that, you know, the factories are better documented than a lot of the UK ones, and yeah, and it's got its own story. You know, I could spend a whole half hour just talking about it and not showing you any glass, but I won't do that, and showing you bits of books and stuff. But yeah, this is enough. So, and I didn't use any references. Yay! You just have to trust what I'm telling you. That's it. And please remember to like and subscribe because it helps my channel. And thank you for watching, and have a good night. Good night.